to that. Well, let's try that again. I'm Cheryl Gallant, your Conservative Member of Parliament from the anti-socialist riding of Renfrew-Nipissing-Pembroke. And on our first try, we mentioned that Monday marked the end of the Liberal minority government. So Tuesday was the first day of the socialist majority government in Canada. No Canadian ever voted for this abomination. So what does all this mean to you and to your family? The socialist government has released its agreement, and it's going to be expensive. The number one priority seems to be interfering in as many provincial jurisdictions as they can. This new socialist government is federalizing dental care. It's federalizing pharmacare. It's federalizing long-term care. It's federalizing childcare. The socialists' antidote for their climate neurosis is deeply troubling. The socialists are pledging to move ahead with just transition, and that will be legislated. Regular viewers might recall the last time just transition legislation was mentioned. MPs from the Socialist Alliance have been standing in the House of Commons and explicitly demanding that just transition legislation include the nationalization of even larger parts of our economy, just like Cuba and Putin's Russia. Everything belongs to him. Once upon a time, having Liberal MPs stand in the House and demanding government socialize much of the economy would be front page news. Now the Prime Minister and his new Socialist Alliance has announced his central promise to socialize the economy to fight climate change. The legacy media outlets will continue to ignore the truth. The bought-off media continue to ignore the fact that the Socialist Alliance MPs are standing in the House of Commons and demanding the government nationalize vast sectors of the economy. That means the government plans to take ownership of vast numbers of businesses. Just transition legislation means just-in transitioning Canada from a free market economy into a Soviet-style command and control economy. It's even more troubling that just as Vladimir Putin invades countries to rebuild the Soviet empire, the Socialist Alliance in Canada issues a document that is silent on security and defense. When I spoke against Trudeau's emergency decrees, I reminded Canadians how the socialists opposed the War Measures Act during World War II, which is not really a surprise. This time, the socialists supported stripping Canadians of basic freedoms. Democracies had to fight two great battles in the 20th century. We fought a world war against National Socialists and a Cold War against the international socialists. Now that Russia, under Putin, is attempting to reconstitute the Soviet Empire, the Socialist Alliance in Canada wants to look the other way. Justin and Jagmeet want to borrow billions of dollars to federalize provincial social programs. For the Socialist Alliance, security and defense are just obstacles in the way of spending more on socialist programs. The most troubling parts of the Socialist Alliance agreement are the plans to change Canada's election laws. For Justin and Jagmeet, rigging elections is more important than confronting Putin. They want to make election fraud easier by letting people vote anywhere. They want to make mail-in ballots easier, despite Canada Elections' failure to send out the ballots in time in 2021. Over 200,000 ballots weren't even counted before they quit after the 2021 ballots were tallied. For years, New Democrats like Tom Mulcair and Jack Layton called for changing our electoral system from the first past the post to proportional representation. With the stroke of a pen, Jagmeet has sold out the NDP and entrenched the former Liberals permanently into power. Now that the NDP has joined the Liberals in this socialist alliance, things in Parliament need to change. The former NDP is no longer an opposition party. The Socialist Alliance deal gives the former NDP special access to the machinery of government. They'll be given advance notice and consulted on upcoming legislation. The former NDP must lose its slots in question period. It should no longer be permitted to chair committees. All of these rules are clearly laid out. The problem is that even after the Liberal Speaker agrees with the facts, the Socialist Alliance have the votes to overturn any decision. The Socialist Alliance will act both as government and the unofficial opposition. Canada is now under one-party rule. This is actually worse than a Liberal majority government. Even in a majority government, the opposition parties have some power to hold the government to account. Now that power will be used to support the government. The former NDP agreed to fast-track the government's legislation. That's a fast track to online censorship. It's a fast track to basic income. It's a fast track to socialism. The only way we can fight this and to get rid of Justin and Jagmeet. If you live in a riding where a Liberal or NDP was elected in 2021, call your MP. Tell them that you did not vote for this socialist alliance. If you live in a Conservative riding, call your friends and families who do live in socialist ridings and ask them to call their MPs. We know members of the former Liberal Party are divided. We know some former NDP MPs are not happy with selling out. It's time for the former Liberal MPs to replace Trudeau before it's too late. Live from Ottawa, this is Cheryl Gallant.